On this upcoming election day, the eyes of the nation will be on two races, the race for governor of New Jersey and the race for governor of Virginia. Both states hold off-year elections, which simply means there's no major federal election on the ballot. And the elections in both states are used to get a political temperature check as we head into next year's midterm election, when every House seat and 34 Senate seats are on the ballot. In New Jersey, incumbent Democratic Governor Phil Murphy is being challenged by Republican Jack Ciattarelli, a former assemblyman. And in Virginia, the Democrat is former Governor Terry McAuliffe, who is being challenged by Glenn Youngkin, a businessman, a former CEO of a private equity firm. In both races, the Democratic candidate had a healthy lead in the summer. But polls show that both races have tightened substantially. In Virginia now, the polls show it's a tie. The national parties are watching both of these races very closely for trends, not only in voting, but in issues. And an issue in both of these races is schools, school curriculum, and school mask mandates. For instance, in Virginia, the Republican Youngkin has been pounding the Democrat Terry McAuliffe over a comment he made in the last debate about schools.
I don't think parents should be telling schools what they should teach.
After that comment, the race then tied in the polls, and Youngkin's rallies now have overflow crowds. Nationally, the Republicans are taking notice that focusing on schools may be a winning issue. As we've seen at packed school board meetings across the country, parents are passionate about what their kids are being taught and mask mandates. And the Democrats have noticed a voter backlash when race is used to attack a Republican opponent.
Do we stand with our sacred democracy? Or do we stand with Confederate flags and white supremacists and a pack of lies? Do we stand? Do we continue? Do we continue to make the tough?
That was Republican Governor Murphy in the final debate between him and Republican Ciattarelli. There is no question that President Biden's sinking approval numbers and the problems the nation is having has an effect on these midterm elections and will have even more of an effect on next year's midterms. Most of the national media focus has been on Virginia because it's a red state that is turning blue. As a matter of fact, for the first time in decades, they have a Democratic governor, a Democratic legislature, and 2 Democratic senators. New York Magazine, in a headline, asks if it's time for Democrats to panic about Virginia and the midterms. Politico answers they're already worried about Virginia. And the Washington Post, in a headline, says they are worried about a possible cascade of election troubles because of Virginia. New Jersey is not getting the same amount of national attention because even though the race is tightening, New Jersey is very much a blue state with 1 million more registered Democrats than Republicans. Still, off-year elections can come down to 2 things: turnout and passion. In 2017, when Phil Murphy was elected governor, only 38% of registered voters came out to vote. In 2013, when Republican Governor Chris Christie won re-election, it was only 35%, which is why the 2009 New Jersey gubernatorial election may be the one to look at, with incumbent Democratic Governor John Corzine being challenged by Republican former U.S. Attorney Chris Christie. It was Republican passion in that election that fueled a 47% turnout, and Chris Christie won. As it was in 2009, it very well may be in 2021. There was a brand new Democratic president, Barack Obama, and a Democratic-controlled House and Senate that pushed through a controversial health care bill nicknamed Obamacare. And that stoked a Republican backlash at the polls. The very next year, in 2010, the Republicans picked up 63 seats in the House. They won 7 Senate seats and won 6 governor's races. Now you understand why the Democrats are so worried about this year's governor's races in Virginia and New Jersey. Which is why the Democrats aren't taking any chances dispatching former President Obama and other top Democrats to both states to get out the Democratic vote. So yes, the focus of the country, and certainly everybody in Washington, D.C., will be on Virginia and New Jersey on Election Day, November 2nd. Republican wins could be an early forecast of a red wave coming to Washington in 2022, something the Democrats are desperately trying to stop. I'm Larry Menti. We'll talk again soon.